This year was a big year for AnnieCannons. I do feel like we say that every year, though. But this year was really special because we really took so many of the lessons that we've learned and so many of the things that we've been hearing from our graduates and incorporated that into a brand new program. Where we said we want to take all the success we've had in our training program and we want to really look at each individual's journey through that process from connecting with us, starting at intake to getting a job. And what are all the things in between? So not just how to do the job, but how to have the job and how to really be able to be, I would say, not just successful, but to feel satisfied and fulfilled with what people are working towards in terms of their career goals. So it's really pulling all those pieces together in our internship program to have real projects, to have mentorship, to have job readiness workshops. And I think in going through that process, we learned so much about what we can do better. And so I'm excited for this next iteration of that, our new program design, where we're doing, I would say, two really big things differently. One is instead of doing a full cohort model where someone spends 10 months in the training program, we're going to have it divided up into individual courses and different pathways. So an individual can choose, I got to this point in my training and now I know what jobs are open to me, or I want to continue down this path because I know if I keep down this path of, back-end database management or data science or front-end UI development or, design, all these different things, we just want people to have those tools in their tool belt to be able to choose that path and move forward. And then throughout all of that, we want to have job readiness built in. So from day one, having people start to think about their professional networks and their resumes and their interviewing skills and not just waiting until they're about to apply for a job, but really incorporating it from day one and then building out those partnerships with tech companies to hire. So all of those things, it's just exciting because I feel like every time we launch a new class, we're launching it with new and better ideas, new and better data, and everyone on our team is just really invested in that individual's journey through the process.
What is Resourceful?
So Resourceful is an app and a web app that helps survivors of trafficking find resources in their community.
Through research, we've always come across the study and findings that it's so difficult to navigate the service ecosystem, and survivors have always had this difficulty. So we are trying to minimize that gap by having all the resources under one application where survivors can access, create their account, and then create their profile and connect with different providers who provide different services, all under one app.
What did Resourceful accomplish this year?
This year, we launched our product, which includes a service provider list and profiles that you can filter through to find exactly the resource you need.
So the big accomplishment this year was we were finally able to launch our web application, which is accessible to providers as well as survivors. And a lot of research and study went into the launch as well as building this app. We did a lot of research, like focus groups, usability tests, interviews among the community with people who had lived experiences, providers who provide services to survivors, and we gathered all the insights from these interviews and research studies. So with all these findings, we were able to build this app. Throughout this entire process, we always kept the priority of listening to our users, our providers, and their needs.
That's right, because the app users is definitely the providers and the survivors themselves. So making sure that what they really need is met by the app, right?
Yes, we went through a lot of iterations doing this, but it is amazing that we were able to accommodate their needs.
Yeah, I imagine having this kind of complex app like thoughtfully thinking about every aspect of being a survivor and being a provider coming together, and yeah, making this app a reality, right?
Definitely. Definitely.
So what's next for Resourceful is building out our service provider list and onboarding providers who can truly help survivors thrive. We're really excited to include as many providers as we possibly can to make sure every survivor gets the resources they need. What's most exciting is that as Resourceful continues to talk to the community and does the research that we need to do to enhance our product, we're able to design more and include more features that are valuable to the community, which means more development opportunities for students at AnnieCannons.
This year for AnnieCannons, we worked on quite a few products. We worked on products that's for allies against slavery, partnering with them to showcase data when it comes to survivors of trafficking in a way that is highly visual, so people can get, I think, a better understanding of the effects that trafficking has in our society. We also completed a meditation app. We also are working on an app that has to do with therapy that should be released later this year, that a lot of people are really excited about. We're also working on an app that has to do with women's womb rights, which is also exciting considering the climate of today's world. And we've done built a couple of websites for a religious center and a university. We've done a lot.
So as tech lead, I was able to work on Ayabatala. It's really special to me because I inherited it from a former graduate at AnnieCannons who built it from scratch. And it's like, I just go into the code base and I can see her brilliance. And I just feel like I'm so lucky that I inherited this amazing code base. And then, we all got to learn together.
Well, this year I had the opportunity to work as a technical lead for a website that features human rights and international justice. And I also got to work on Resourceful, which is a built-in in-house project that AnnieCannons created.
How I personally worked with interns during this cohort was I was their product manager. So we would have sprint check-ins and reviews. But what would really happen is I would write tickets that I needed the interns to complete. Anything that they would need as far as like an asset, or if they needed clarification, they would ask me. I would get it and communicate that back with them. I think that I was hopefully able to give them a positive interaction with what a product manager is, and be supportive in that role, and also supportive of anything that they may have come into contact with. But my role wasn't as one-on-one or hands-on as like the technical lead was, but I was still able, I hope, to provide support and to give information that was needed or asked of, or communicate clearly with each of the interns.
I think just being very available. And so I think just really what was really, really important for me that the interns understood was that this is the point. It is the point that you're coming and asking for help. It is the point that you're getting as far as you can and then coming to the team. Like that means that is the point of the internship. It's not that you're a subpar developer. I think really just being there to open up conversations about all the different ways that we could maybe solve this one problem before code was written. And then also just like a really deeply, truly believing in each one of the interns and just being able to sit back and just watch people like really struggle and apply what they've learned. And I was so impressed. I was so impressed with every single person. Like I just, you know, they hacked and hacked and hacked, and they produced some really beautiful code and some wonderful products.
Well, I got to work with them as technical leads, so when they come across questions and they need help with debugging, then I was able to meet with them for office hours and also set them up with playgrounds so that they can practice applying some of the skills in a smaller, more compact area, so that way they don't get lost in the larger code base.
There were challenges. I think one of the biggest challenges for me in the projects that I was over, or the products I was over, were that sometimes it was slow coming with getting things to build for the interns. And so there were times when we had to pivot to another project, like an internal product that can be worked on, as opposed to a product that was for a client. However, I do feel like the interns were able to still learn from that. I mean, and also because like it's not necessarily, it doesn't usually happen, right? But I think it also gave the interns and myself an opportunity to understand how to pivot gracefully and know that things can change on a day-to-day basis. So it was really giving everybody an opportunity to learn to go with the flow. I know that's not ideal because it's like we need consistent things to work, but I think it did teach a lesson, not only just to the interns, but to myself. And also I think just there were some things, new things introduced to the interns. Some interns had never worked with a content management system, and so that was something they had to overcome. But it taught a lesson. And I think that every lesson that was introduced, the interns were able to adapt to very well.
Well, some of the challenges we had to overcome was to help our interns learn how to look at the code base, understand what's going on, extract the pieces that they needed to work in the playground, and then, work that out, and then reintegrate it back into the larger code base. So then, like from the smaller code base from the larger code base to the smaller code base, and then going back to the larger code base, so then that way everything works and it works out smoothly. So I feel like that was the more of the challenging thing, the most challenging thing that our interns needed to learn during my work with them.
Dawn, what career development and mentorship opportunities were there for interns in the AnnieCannons programs this year?
This year at AnnieCannons, we were very fortunate to partner with Google and Motorola, and we were able to offer mentorship opportunities. So each one of our interns got matched with a mentor, and they were able to get some real great insight on the industry and how to land their first job in tech. Along with, we also were able to offer workshops from folks throughout the industry that volunteered to come in and talk about things such as LinkedIn, resume building, interview strategies, and networking.
Can you describe the interns' progress and journey over the last year, and what have they accomplished and where are they headed?
This internship program has provided the interns with such a fantastic opportunity for advancement. Each of them have left feeling more empowered because they now can use their skills as software engineers. They have had the experience of working across teams, overcoming their obstacles. The interns now have skills that they really need to be prepared for their first job in tech. They experienced certain pain points throughout the session, and in things like debugging, working towards deadlines, working on teams, and all the while they had access to tech leads and their PMs to talk to and work through all these obstacles. So I think that they really learned how to collaborate and research and problem solve in a way that maybe they hadn't even seen it in themselves at the beginning of the program. So as they continue now to apply for positions in tech, each of them have grown to understand the patience that's required with themselves. They've learned about networking and pursuing leads. So currently, a handful of them are continuing their education by taking courses at a higher level for their software development skills. One just landed their first job as an engineer, and each of them continue to pursue their goals.
Nice. That's such a great update. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm really excited to see what the upcoming year holds for each of our interns.
Right.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Seeing more survivors pursuing their dreams and reaching their dreams and goals. Yeah.
Yep. More survivors being in tech. Yeah.
Thank you.